This is April from the IPA Women's Beer Club in Philadelphia, and you're watching Still Crazy After All These Beers.
Still Crazy After All These Beers is brought to you by our friends at Michelob, crafting a better beer. And Porta Pong, the world's #1 best-selling inflatable beer pong table at portapong.com.
And welcome to this week's edition of Still Crazy After All These Beers. Curt, how you doing, buddy? From Notting Head in Philadelphia.
I'm fantastic. It's a beautiful day in media.
Absolutely. Every day in media is a beautiful day. That's what they tell me anyway.
Yeah, Mark Edelson might tell you that.
Mark Edelson tells me that, right. Tell us about Notting Head. What is Notting Head?
Notting Head is a 10-and-a-half-year-old brew pub and restaurant in smack in the heart of downtown Philadelphia, about 2 blocks from City Hall. One of the smallest breweries in the country, I would imagine. We do probably 750 barrels of beer a year. And you know, we're rocking and rolling, taking over the world 7 barrels at a time.
So what you do is you walk up that long flight of steps, right?
Yeah, we're on the 2nd floor, which makes it even more fun and challenging. Everybody hides when there's a malt delivery, let's put it that way.
Well, it's easy for me going up the steps.
It's a lot easier going up than it is coming down sometimes.
But I'll tell you what, great beers. I remember, I guess a couple years ago, having a remarkable Kindle Weiss.
Yeah, we do. We've been doing our Berliner for at least 9 years. We might have done it the first summer we were open. The first year we had to spoon feed it to people. Nobody knew the style. It took us most of a summer to get rid of 1 batch of beer. We've gotten to where at one point we were the largest manufacturer of Berliner Weiss outside of Berlin.
Now, when you serve the Berliner Weiss, do you supplement it with a little Woodruff, a little raspberry? How do you guys?
We offer the Woodruff, but we've toned it down every year. We do more and more Berliner every year and go through less and less syrup.
Isn't that curious?
People really like it without the syrup. The American beer drinker now is more and more into sour beers, tart beers, and there's no need to really sweeten that beer up. And it's so delicate and crisp anyway. I don't think you need to overpower it with a lot. If we add it, we add a dash. But we're not going to be like Germany where it's bright green when it comes to your table. I mean, it's never going to be like that. It may be a pale green, but it's we recommend it without the syrup.
Now that's interesting. You brought up an interesting point because you're right. The sour beers now are becoming so popular in the United States, so now people's tastes in terms of the Berliner Weiss are changing.
Absolutely, and I think there's almost, sadly to me, there's almost a movement where we're Americanizing that style a little bit. And as much as I love the fact that we kind of kept that style alive and more breweries are starting to do it again, I think there's this movement toward making it over-the-top tart and sour, where that's not really the style. I mean, it's a style, but it's not Berliner Weiss. Berliner Weiss is more subtle than that. But, yeah, American palates love sour beer.
Now, you've actually won several awards with that beer as well.
A lot. We've done really well with it.
But, of course, that's not the only beer that we can find sporadically at Notting Head. What else are we known for? First of all, what am I drinking here?
That's BPA, and that's actually on cask today. That's our American Pale Ale. That's a beautiful Cascade Pale Ale with a nice amount of malt to it, holds it up a little bit, but you get the great nose and the great apparent hop to it, but it's not tremendously bitter. I mean, it's got a ton of hop.
That it's not. Really I'm getting balance out of this. It is really, like you said, a balance between the hops and the malt.
Don't say that to anybody on the West Coast. They'll smack you. You can't have a balance. They think that's a bad word.
Well, that's okay, because we're on the East Coast right now.
That's right. That's right.
What else can we find when we go to Notting Head?
Grog is another beer that we do.
What is that?
Year-round. That's our English brown ale. Okay. That's got a little more body and a little more flavor than something, you know, it's not a Newcastle. And I think Michael Jackson said, yeah, those of you that think Newcastle's a brown ale, that's not really a brown ale. This is an English brown ale. It's got a nice roasty quality to it, a little bit of chocolate, and it's just a good dark session beer. You know, it comes in around 5% alcohol. It's a great crossover beer. People that think they don't like dark beer still like grog. So it's a great way to introduce people to beers that they might not like.
What else can we find?
Let's see. We've been doing a lot of barrel aging lately. We have one magical barrel that we've been doing some stuff in, and we've done so far 4 beers out of it. I think we have a 5th one in there now, and those are some amazing beers. that beer is, or the barrel is still imparting a whole bunch of funk into beers. And oh man, stuff is just, it's beautiful.
Talk about also the relationship between beer and food. People now are interested in having a good meal with their beer.
Well, you know, that the whole, I think the biggest focus of the craft beer movement in America right now is to push beer as a food accompaniment and to have people start to think about beer the way they think about wine. You know, beer and food are amazing, and there are so many more flavor profiles that you can find in beer than you can find in wine. You can find a beer to go with any food that you want. So it's a big focus to get better beer in good restaurants, fine dining restaurants, have their sommeliers know as much about beer as they know about wine. And it's getting that way. Philadelphia is right at the forefront of all of that, and there are so many good restaurants that offer really nice beer lists now. And you could go in somewhere like one of the Mark Vetri restaurants, you know, Osteria or somewhere. Man, their staff knows as much about beer as they know about wine, and that's really encouraging. That's really encouraging.
You know, thanks for bringing that up, but beer and restaurants got me back into Philadelphia again. There have been years that I didn't come into Philadelphia, and every real reason to do it. But the great beers, you know, starting at Monk's and Notting Head, and I can go on, and complimenting fine food, it brought me back into the city.
You know, Philadelphia has turned into such an amazing food town. I mean, the last 10, 12 years, man, I knew I loved living in Philly 15 years ago. I really love living in Philly now because, I live in the city, work in the city. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. But you know, I took to Philly. I came down for college and stayed, and I took to it really early on, but it's just gotten better and better. And in the food and beverage line, man, I think Philly's better than New York. Don't get mad at me. Philly's better than DC. Philly is amazing. It's, you know, people from New York like to come down and spend weekends in Philly to eat and drink. I mean, it's a good place to be.
Now, Notting Head is where? Give us the location.
1516 Sansom Street, second floor. So if you walk into the Oyster House, walk back out and go up the steps to the second floor.
And I'm admiring your shirt here that says, Lion's Head, best head in town.
You know, I have a little relationship with the Lion Brewery. My original brewer, Brandon, went up there and worked for a little while. And I'll tell you what, since then, man, you see a whole lot of Lion's Head on the streets of Philadelphia. I mean, recycling day, I see Lion's Head all over the place.
Curt, thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much.
See you next time. It's Still Crazy.